and welcome to another video in our Green Dream video series. I'm ESG Clarity Deputy Editor Natasha Turner, and today I'm delighted to be joined by Matt Evans, Portfolio Manager of the UK Sustainable Equity Fund at NinetyOne. It's great to have you with us today, Matt.
Thanks, Natasha. Great to be here.
So it's the third anniversary of the UK Sustainable Equity Funds, or thereabouts at the time of recording. What has been your biggest surprise so far?
As you say, yeah, 3 years in and the time's flown by, and it certainly wasn't the period necessarily we were expecting, and it's hard not to mention the pandemic. But actually, it's really been the engagement from the companies that we hold in the portfolio. We put out an annual impact report every year, which actually puts out a one-pager on each and every company. And what I've found is through the interactions with companies, they've also been thinking about their sustainability journey. And as one of their key stakeholders, clearly we're only one, they have many others from suppliers and their own customers. They found it really interesting how we've looked into their companies to understand how we determine their internal sustainability, how efficiently they run their own business, but also how they interact with their own people and their supply chains, etc. And then positive impact. What impact is it that their products and services are having that have a measurable impact on society or the environment?
That's great to hear that you've been met with open doors on that engagement. And, I wonder if that's even a change from a decade ago or something when it comes to sustainability. So that's very encouraging. Could you give some examples of some companies that have fared well over the past couple of years?
So there's companies such as Ceres Power and ITM. They're two fuel cell companies. They're also involved in the hydrogen economy. And again, these companies are often seen as a bit of an overnight success. They're benefiting from the green revolution, but actually that couldn't be further from the truth. Both companies have been going for many, many years. The early 2000s was probably my first introduction to Ceres Power. So they've always had good technologies, but their ability to commercialize has really improved over that period of time, as has their technologies. And I think they were very well prepared for, as the world is searching more and more for those solutions, to be able to deliver to global OEM partners products that are really fit for purpose.
And thinking about the future then, as you mentioned, and we are recording this towards the end of the year. So what's your outlook for next year, for 2022?
So look, unfortunately, the pandemic is still very much around and maybe there's more stings in the tail. But we are progressing. We've seen how companies have reacted and adapted and how people are also adapting to this new normal. But how the pandemic is unwinding is also having some impacts on some of the other challenges the world is facing, from inflation and what that will do to interest rates. These are all areas we've got to be very aware of. And it's really important that we understand companies that are well placed and have what we look for in their quality characteristics around pricing power and some competitive advantage. They are better placed to handle maybe some of these challenges, but it's certainly an area we're very focused on. But what are maybe some of the reasons for optimism as well? I think there has been really good growth in many areas, some structural growing areas. I mean, the digitalization of many industries and also many economies is pretty clear and evident. We've seen a lot in sort of online retail and how companies have adapted to that world even more quickly. But it's also been important for companies and governments. And we've seen companies such as Kainos, which helps governments digitize, having a very, very strong outlook historically. But we think that's also set to continue for a little bit further from today. I touched on the likes of Ceres and ITM, about two companies that have done well. But we do think there's been a material shift in how people are looking to consume products. And therefore companies are delivering products or services that have a genuine solution to some of the global challenges, around the environment, look well placed. So we think that's an area to keep a focus on. And we're particularly focused now on sort of sustainable building and sustainable agriculture as areas that might present more opportunities.
Brilliant. And then we always finish the Green Dream series on a more fun question, which is, what is your favorite sustainable drink or snack?
So an interesting one. Unfortunately, I've been turned into a bit of a chocoholic by my wife and son, who are very keen on it. But Hotel Chocolat do a fantastic range of chocolates. They're also highly sustainable. So their key message is more cocoa, less sugar, which I think plays slightly to that health conscious, and not for one moment suggesting it's the healthiest snack, but we do think that gives it a better position on that sustainability front.
What a great one for the festive period ahead as well. Thanks so much for joining us today, Matt.
Thanks very much, Natasha.